Hello, Bucknutters. Welcome into the Morning Five here on February 28th, 2014. I am Dave Biddle. Let's start off talking about Ohio State basketball. Oh, no! The Buckeyes fell to Penn State 65-63 last night, meaning the Nittany Lions completed the two-game sweep over the Buckeyes this season. Listen, losing to Penn State once in basketball is bad enough. Twice is almost inexcusable. Penn State is tied for last in the Big Ten this season. It would be the football equivalent of losing to Indiana one week and Purdue the next. Just when we think the basketball Buckeyes are turning the corner, they lay a giant egg. The problems for Ohio State last night were many, but most glaring were three-point percentage, 29.4, free throw percentage, 66.7, and getting out-rebounded 34-25. Getting out-rebounded by 9 against a team like Penn State, I mean, just when you think this team is starting to catch fire, they're hitting their peak, they go and they play a terrible game against a terrible team. You just have to wonder where this team is at mentally after that game. However, thanks to Indiana beating Iowa last night, Ohio State is still in 4th place in the Big Ten standings, which is important because the top 4 teams get a bye in the Big Ten tournament. Speaking of Indiana, Ohio State will travel there on Sunday for a 4 p.m. tip. It's the only scheduled meeting between the Buckeyes and Hoosiers this season. Switching gears,
O-H-I-O.
The number 1 tight end recruit on Ohio State's board in the 2015 class, Chris Clark, tells our Bill Kurlick that his top 4 in no particular order are Ohio State, Notre Dame, Auburn, and Alabama. Clark is from Connecticut and is the number 3 tight end in the country per the 24/7 Sports Composite. He will take an official visit to Ohio State sometime during spring practice. Bill Kurlick also has an update on the site this morning on 4-star defensive back Marcus Lewis from Washington, D.C. You need to be a premium subscriber to read all of Bill's stuff. So if you're not a subscriber, take advantage of our 7-day free trial. Get on the site, upper right-hand portion of your screen, click on 7-day free trial. That's all it takes. Moving on,
O-H-I-O.
let's talk some Ohio State football. The Buckeyes open spring practice on Tuesday, which is a little difficult to believe sitting here on the final day of February, and the temperature checking in at exactly 8 degrees this morning in Columbus. But we'll be all over spring ball coverage at Bucknuts when it starts on Tuesday, and I'll be paying the closest attention to 3 positions in particular: linebackers, defensive backs, and offensive line. That's in order. Linebackers 1, defensive backs 2, offensive line 3. At linebacker, the competition between true freshman Raekwon McMillan and senior Curtis Grant will be very interesting. Same deal for weak side linebacker between Trey Johnson and Darren Lee. At the strong side spot, I think Josh Perry probably has that gig locked down, but Ohio State needs to develop some depth behind him. I think Sam Hubbard's going to be a very good Sam linebacker, but he's not going to be here till June, so they need to develop some depth behind Josh Perry this spring. So the linebacker position, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that. In the secondary, starting with the corners, Duran Grant and Armani Reeves are going to be the starters, it looks like, but they're going to be pushed by Eli Apple and Garyon Conley. I don't think it's written in stone that Armani Reeves is going to be a starter. I do think Duran Grant is a senior. I think it's pretty much written in stone that he will be. But I think Eli Apple and Garyon Conley are going to push Armani Reeves. I think all those guys are going to play. When the Buckeyes go nickel, they might use a corner instead of a safety. When they go nickel, we're so used to them using a safety. But Chris Ash likes to stay in the 4-3 as much as possible. And when he brings in a nickelback, usually it's been a corner at his previous spot. So look for maybe one of the backup corners to be the starting nickelback, so to speak. At safety, I think Von Bell's a lock to be the starting free safety. I just think that's a no-brainer. But who will be the starting strong safety? My prediction is Cam Burrows, but there's plenty of other guys. Ron Tanner's going to be in the mix. Chris Worley's definitely going to be in the mix. He's a guy they really like. They wish they didn't redshirt him last year. But I guess the blessing in disguise now is the Buckeyes have 4 years of eligibility remaining for Chris Worley. I think he's going to play a lot this year. I don't think he's going to be a starter, but I think you can expect to see Chris Worley out there a lot. And maybe he can challenge for that starting strong safety position. Chris Worley is definitely a guy to look at. And it will also be interesting to see how Jamie Thompson looks this spring. He missed last season after breaking an ankle in practice. He should be ready for spring. We'll see how Jamie Thompson looks. And then the offensive line, losing 4 starters, that speaks for itself. But I'm confident Ed Warner will have that group ready to go. Final topic.
O-H-I-O.
We're going to have our Ask the Staff feature on the site today for premium subscribers. You can ask our staff members any question you want. It usually ends up being like an 8-page thread. It's good to read. It's good to ask questions, get some feedback, so make sure you get in there and participate and ask the staff if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, again, try our 7-day free trial. Thanks for joining us here on the Bucknuts Morning 5. Hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend.